Danielle Busby reveals she's late in new, OutDaughtered, clip exclusive. Danielle Busby has never been one to hide the realities of her life, but this time, a simple moment caught on camera has fans buzzing more than anything she's shared in a long while. In a newly released exclusive clip from OutDaughtered, Danielle casually reveals that she's late, and with just that one word, the internet exploded. For a family whose entire journey began with an unexpected pregnancy that turned into 6 daughters, the possibility of history repeating itself has viewers on the edge of their seats. The clip itself is brief, but its impact is massive. Danielle doesn't dramatically announce anything. There's no big build-up, no background music pushing emotion. Instead, it's one of those raw, real moments that OutDaughtered has always done best. Danielle mentions being late almost in passing, but the look on her face says there's a lot more happening beneath the surface. It's the kind of moment that feels incredibly personal, yet somehow relatable to millions of viewers who have grown up alongside the Busby family. Fans immediately began speculating. Late doesn't always mean what people think it means, especially for someone like Danielle, who has openly talked about her health struggles over the years. Autoimmune issues, chronic pain, stress, and hormonal changes have all been part of her journey. But when you're Danielle Busby, and when your life has already delivered one of the rarest pregnancies in medical history, even the smallest hint sends shockwaves through the fandom. What makes this reveal so compelling isn't just the possibility of another baby. It's the timing. Danielle has spent the last few seasons of OutDaughtered opening up about exhaustion, emotional burnout, and the toll that constant responsibility has taken on her body. She's been honest about not feeling like herself and struggling to balance being a mom, a wife, a business owner, and a public figure. Hearing her say she's late instantly raises questions about how she's feeling, what she's thinking, and whether her body is even ready for something like this. Adam Busby's reaction in the clip is subtle but telling. He doesn't panic. He doesn't celebrate. Instead, there's that familiar mix of concern and cautious curiosity that longtime viewers recognize instantly. Adam has always been the calmer counterbalance to Danielle's emotional openness. Over the years, he's become more vocal about mental health, stress, and the pressure of providing for such a large family. A potential pregnancy would affect not just Danielle physically, but the entire dynamic of the Busby household. The Busbys have always emphasized transparency, but they've also learned to protect certain parts of their lives. That's why this clip feels so powerful. It doesn't give answers. It doesn't confirm or deny anything. It simply opens the door and invites viewers into a moment of uncertainty, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps fans hooked. For those who've followed OutDaughtered since the beginning, this moment feels almost surreal. The show started with Danielle navigating pregnancy complications, NICU stays, sleepless nights, and the overwhelming reality of raising quintuplets alongside an older daughter. Over time, viewers watched the girls grow from tiny infants into energetic, opinionated kids with big personalities. The idea of adding another chapter to that story feels both exciting and daunting. Danielle herself has previously spoken about being done having children. She's been very clear about how demanding motherhood has been, especially given her health issues. That's why this revelation hits so hard. It challenges everything fans thought they knew about where the Busbys are in their lives right now. Is this a genuine pregnancy scare? A health-related delay? Or something completely unexpected that the family is still processing privately? Social media reactions have been intense. Some fans are thrilled at the idea of another Busby baby, calling it a blessing and a miracle. Others are concerned, urging Danielle to prioritize her health and well-being above all else. And then there are those who simply want answers, dissecting every frame of the clip for clues, expressions, and tone shifts that might hint at what's really going on. What stands out most is how real Danielle appears in this moment. There's no polished response, no rehearsed explanation. Just a woman acknowledging something unexpected and trying to make sense of it herself. That authenticity has always been one of OutDaughtered's strongest qualities. It's why viewers feel so invested, and why even a single word like late can carry so much weight. The exclusive nature of the clip adds another layer of intrigue. TLC knows exactly how much anticipation surrounds the Busbys, and moments like this are carefully chosen for a reason. It's not about manipulation, it's about storytelling. And this story, whether it leads to a pregnancy or not, is about uncertainty, vulnerability, and the unpredictability of life. Danielle's health journey plays a crucial role in how fans interpret this moment. Over the years, she's shared diagnoses, doctor visits, and emotional breakdowns that revealed just how much she's been carrying. Being late could simply be another symptom of stress or hormonal imbalance, but because of her history, it can't be brushed off easily. Viewers know how hard she's worked to regain some sense of normalcy, and the idea of her facing another major physical challenge is both inspiring and worrying. Adam's role in this situation is equally important. He's been open about the pressures of fatherhood and the responsibility of supporting a large family. His calm demeanor in the clip suggests that whatever this turns out to be, the Busbys will face it together, just as they always have. That partnership has been at the heart of the show, even during moments of tension and disagreement. What makes this storyline resonate so deeply is that it mirrors real life. Plans change. Bodies don't always cooperate. Even when you think you're in control, life has a way of surprising you. Danielle's revelation taps into that universal experience, making it relatable far beyond the context of reality television. As the season unfolds, fans are eager to see how this moment is addressed. Will Danielle open up more about what being late means for her? Will doctors become part of the conversation again? Or will this turn out to be a brief scare that ultimately leads to a deeper discussion about health and self-care? Regardless of the outcome, this clip has already accomplished something powerful. It's reminded viewers why they fell in love with OutDaughtered in the first place. Not because of perfect moments or big announcements, but because of honest, imperfect, sometimes uncomfortable truths shared by a family navigating life together. Danielle Busby's quiet admission has reignited excitement, concern, hope, and speculation all at once. It's a testament to how deeply connected fans feel to her journey. Whether this story leads to celebration or simply reflection, one thing is certain: viewers will be watching closely, ready to support Danielle and the entire Busby family through whatever comes next. And as always with OutDaughtered, the real story isn't just about what happens. It's about how the Busbys handle it together, with honesty, resilience, and a willingness to let the world see both the joy and the uncertainty of their lives. OutDaughtered, Danielle Busby prepares to confront 40 years of feelings as she attends therapy for first-time exclusive. Danielle Busby has spent over a decade in front of the cameras, sharing her life with millions of OutDaughtered fans around the world. From the moment her family captured hearts as the parents of the only all-girl quintuplets in America, Danielle and her husband Adam have opened up about the highs, the lows, and the everyday realities of raising 6 daughters. But in 2024, viewers witnessed something profoundly personal: Danielle attending therapy for the first time at age 40, a decision that sparked conversation, reflection, and admiration from fans everywhere. People.com. This step toward therapy isn't just a storyline for television. It represents a larger and deeply human journey, one that bridges the challenges of parenting, personal identity, health struggles, emotional vulnerability, and breaking long-held taboos around mental health. Therapy as transformation. Why this moment matters. Danielle's decision to attend therapy was featured in a June 18th episode of OutDaughtered and quickly became one of the most talked-about moments of the season. In the episode, she sits down with a therapist who gently challenges her to think differently about self-care. The therapist uses a metaphor familiar to many: put your own oxygen mask on before helping others, and encourages Danielle to consider what it would mean to care for herself as intentionally as she cares for her family. People.com. For someone who has spent most of her adult life focused on her children, this isn't a simple concept. Danielle admits openly that she doesn't quite know how to do that she's not even sure I know how to put my oxygen mask on first before I do for my children. Her honesty resonates because it reflects a truth many parents, especially mothers, feel but rarely articulate. Putting yourself first feels almost impossible when there are others depending on you. People.com. And then she says something that cuts to the heart of her journey. I'm turning 40 this year, and that's 40 years of feelings. That moment, that acknowledgement of more than 4 decades worth of emotional experience, unexamined or unexpressed, struck a chord with many viewers. It wasn't just about therapy. It was about confronting a lifetime of emotions that had been set aside in service to roles, responsibilities, and the relentless pace of daily life. People.com. More than just a TV episode, a look behind the scenes. For fans who have followed the Busbys since the early seasons of OutDaughtered, this moment felt especially meaningful. From the early days of juggling newborn quintuplets with a school-aged daughter to navigating public attention and personal health challenges, Danielle has rarely shied away from sharing the realities of her life. But until this point, she had never publicly explored therapy, and certainly not in front of cameras. People.com. This therapy session wasn't staged like a typical reality show event. The vulnerability on display was real. We see Danielle grapple with tears, uncertainty, resistance, and even fear, not fear of therapy itself, but fear of what might surface when she finally begins to face decades of unspoken emotions. She has spent her adult life focused outwardly on her kids, her business, her family obligations, and now, in her 40s, she's being asked to look inward. People.com. For many viewers, this was a watershed moment. It wasn't just reality TV drama, it was a reminder that even people who seem like they have it all together can be navigating inner worlds of unresolved feelings, exhaustion, and unmet emotional needs. Why it took so long. Understanding the reluctance. Some might wonder why it took Danielle 4 decades to finally consider therapy. But if we look at broader cultural patterns, it's not entirely surprising. Many people, especially women raised in environments where emotional toughness or spiritual reliance was emphasized, may view therapy with skepticism or even discomfort. There's often a fear that showing vulnerability means weakness. There's also a long-standing cultural message that women, particularly moms, should always be strong, self-sacrificing, and capable of holding everything together without help. Danielle's journey reflects this struggle. She has spent years putting the needs of her family first, sometimes at the expense of her own well-being. Reddit. In various online discussions, fans have talked about how therapy can still carry stigma, especially among people from faith-based or conservative backgrounds where mental health support might be seen as unnecessary or a sign of personal failure. One fan commented about how difficult it is when people view therapy as something only for the weak, and highlighted that many who eventually seek help have had deeply ingrained beliefs about self-reliance or religious coping. First, Reddit. For Danielle, this reluctance wasn't just about opinions, it was personal and emotional. She worried about crying. She worried about what it meant to have feelings that she didn't understand yet. In the filmed session, her hesitance wasn't portrayed as a refusal, but as something human and relatable. It underscored how hard it can be to take the first step, even when you know you need it. People.com. The pressure of parenting and identity. In many ways, Danielle's path to therapy intersects with broader pressures she experiences in life. As a mom of 6 daughters, including quintuplets, Danielle's daily life is full of logistical challenges, emotional complexities, and physical fatigue. In Season 10 of OutDaughtered, the Busbys navigated everything from extracurricular scheduling, business responsibilities, parenting negotiations, and finding help to manage household demands. Rotten Tomatoes. In one scene, Danielle's autoimmune condition flares due to stress, leaving her bedridden while Adam steps up to handle school drop-offs, appointments, and the chaos that comes with caring for a large family. These moments make it clear that the stressors in her life aren't superficial. They have real physical and emotional consequences. People.com. Her chronic health struggles, including inflammation, fatigue, and undiagnosed symptoms connected to an autoimmune disorder, have been part of her public narrative for years. She has openly discussed how her body changed after the quintuplets were born and how difficult it has been to find answers or consistent relief. Parade. It's impossible to separate these health challenges from her emotional experience. Chronic illness, invisible symptoms, and daily pain can make emotional processing harder because survival itself becomes the priority. Add to that the constant obligations of parenting and entrepreneurship, and it's understandable why Danielle might have delayed going to therapy until now.
Parade.
Facing emotions, not avoiding them. In the therapy episode, Danielle's therapist encourages her to acknowledge feelings she's held onto for years, to face them instead of burying them under obligations or distractions. This theme resonates with many people, especially women who are caregivers by nature or by choice. So often, caregivers are taught to be resilient, not tender. They are expected to manage emotions rather than explore them. Danielle's journey challenges that expectation. By stepping into therapy, she acknowledges that emotional care isn't a luxury, it's essential. People.com. And this is perhaps the most powerful part of her story, the idea that emotional healing doesn't happen overnight. Therapy isn't about instantly fixing stuff or achieving some dramatic transformation on camera. It's about beginning a process of understanding a process that might take months or years. When Danielle says she's not sure how long it will take or what she needs to do, she verbalizes a truth many people feel but don't say. Healing isn't linear, and it often begins with uncertainty. People.com. Public reaction, support, and reflection. Fans responded to this moment in a variety of ways, but overwhelmingly with empathy and encouragement. Many shared their own stories of therapy, of delayed emotional awareness, and of how difficult it was to take the first step. Others thanked Danielle for showcasing something so real and vulnerable on a platform that often highlights only the polished parts of life. While OutDaughtered is entertainment, moments like this create powerful cultural conversations. They remind us that celebrities and public figures aren't immune to emotional struggle, and that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but of courage. In the therapy scene, we see a woman who has spent years focused on perfection, perfect parenting, perfect schedules, perfect solutions, start to realize that the internal world deserves care just as much as the external one does. People.com. A broader message about emotional health. Danielle's therapy moment is more than a reality show storyline. It highlights a broader cultural shift, one where emotional health is being discussed openly, publicly, and without judgment. It shows that therapy isn't just for crisis points. It's for anyone who wants deeper self-understanding, better coping strategies, or a healthier way of living emotionally. People.com. Her words about 40 years of feelings remind us that our emotions accumulate. They don't disappear just because we ignore them. And while therapy can't erase the past, it can provide space to understand it, contextualize it, and integrate it into healthier futures. Danielle isn't done. She hasn't magically healed in one episode, but she started, and that matters. By choosing to sit down with a therapist on national television, she opened a conversation that many people might otherwise never have had. She showed that even someone juggling enormous responsibilities can grapple with vulnerability. She invited viewers to rethink their assumptions about strength, emotion, and self-care. And perhaps most importantly, she showed that it's never too late to begin exploring the emotional life you've lived so far, even if that means confronting 40 years of feelings one step at a time. OutDaughtered, quintuplets think their aunt should be fired after she forgets them at bus stop. Total chaos exclusive. In People's exclusive look at the TLC series' upcoming episode, wrangling the quintuplets proves to be too much for Aunt Kiki. Life in the Busby household is not for the faint of heart. In People's exclusive clip from May 28th episode of OutDaughtered, the quintuplets Hazel, Olivia, Ava, Parker, and Riley are less than pleased by the care they're receiving from their Aunt Kiki, who's watching them while their parents are at work. "What are y'all doing here?" Kiki asks as the girls arrive at the house after school, and they remind her, "You were supposed to pick us up at the bus stop." "Kiki should be fired because she forgot us girls," Riley says in a confessional with her sisters as Ava nods in agreement. "And she also says bad words," Parker adds. While Kiki tries to wrangle the girls to get ready for an event at Danielle's work, issues seem to arise from every direction. After sending Riley to get the girls nice clothes from the laundry, Kiki realizes she totally forgot I had to put the clothes from the washer into the dryer. I mean, it just totally slipped my mind. The girls are not exactly helpful, and when Kiki asks them to go put on dresses, they protest. "I hate dresses," Hazel says while she and Olivia snack on Oreos and milk, and Kiki confuses Olivia for her twin, Ava. "It has been a hectic day, so we had no time," And then it was just, one thing after another. It's crazy. Kiki admits in a confessional of watching the 5 9-year-olds while their parents are busy. It's just so overwhelming. I mean, it's total chaos. The couch is not made. There's an iPad on the couch. Hazel tells Kiki, who says, "The couch is fine, girl," before telling Ava to get off the iPad and get dressed for Mommy's event.
What?
Wait, what event? Riley asks. Kiki eventually gets the girls moving to get dressed, but it's not without some complaints. "I don't want to," Hazel says, while Parker complains of her aunt. "I don't think she's good." "Your mom's probably gonna kill me that your clothes are in the washer," Kiki admits.